Hi, it's Lisa Wienhold, and this is a little tutorial on the middle school lyrical etude for Allstate 2021. It's a little piece that's number 25 on page 54 of the Rubank Advanced Method for Flute Volume 1. It's an andantino, and andantino generally means a little bit less of an andante, which is a slow tempo, but it's still pretty slow. They mark it as a dotted quarter note. A half of a measure equals 46. I would count it in 6 to begin with at the very least, and in that case the 8th note is 138, and I think that'll help you figure it out. The rhythm at the very end, the second bar from the end, is maybe a little bit odd just on that last beat. It's just a dotted 16th and 32nd. So if I were counting that measure, I'd count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a little bit of a retard at the end there, a little bit slowing down so you can stretch that last beat in that measure a little bit anyway. Your B flat thumb key will be your friend throughout this. It'll make it a lot easier to play. The only place where you can't really be on it is on the second measure of the last line when you're on the high F sharp. If you're on that B flat thumb key, it almost doesn't want to come out. So you can get off of the double thumb key right on, at the end of the first measure of that line where you play E flat, C, your thumb is up. Just come down on the single thumb key for the G, F sharp, G, and then actually you can come right back down for the B flat onto the double thumb key, and that will help you for the rest of the piece. Watch the articulations. There's a lot of changing between slurring and tonguing. The second measure from the end of the second line where you have the 16ths, I think that's meant to be all slurred in one slur. It's not quite clear. Be careful at the beginning of the second line. They kind of changed it up in the middle of that measure. Dynamics wise, they don't really even tell you much of anything. You have some of the hairpins, which mean, you know, crescendo and then decrescendo. Mostly the lines will help you do that. At the end of the second measure and the fourth measure, though, it's a little bit tricky because you're going from the low note up to the high note, and to make sure that they come way far forward with the lips, and make sure you're blowing through a really small hole and keep that support there. Otherwise, you'll have octaves, and they'll sound flat and they'll sound bad. In that measure, and then at the end of the line it's even a little trickier because you're going from a low G up to a higher B flat. You have to work kind of hard on that. If you play with vibrato, this is a great place to use it, not only on the longer notes, but if you can get used to having it as just part of your sound, the 8th notes, it will help with the sound too. Okay, so I'm going to count off in 6. I think it's always important that you create a rhythmic tempo landscape to join, that you don't try and create one right as you start playing. So I always think an introduction, just like I was going to, you know, start you off playing, I wouldn't just go. At least I hope I wouldn't. I would think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now. And I want you to do that for yourself too. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a pretty little piece. There's not a lot to it. Be careful about the articulations. Be careful about the rhythms. Look out for accidentals that go through a whole measure, like an F sharp. Make sure that that goes through the whole measure, and have fun working on it.